Hey there everyone, and welcome back to another reaction video, mainly because I'm recording this really late and didn't really feel like recording, to be honest, because I had a somewhat annoying day today. Anyway, today we'll be reacting to What If Pokemon Were SCPs? Huh? Taking two, well, at least one popular franchise, aka the SCP Foundation, and smushing them together with another franchise to see what will happen or what they would look like. And if this image right here isn't supposed to give us a hint, then yeah. Guessing Abra and Kazam are gonna be in this.
I think it's about time I branched out with the kinds of SCP
So, yeah.
videos I do on this channel. I mean, I've really
obviously
enjoyed
I
doing
already
the
pressed play, but
SCPs
let's see what's
as
gonna happen.
Heroes/villain episodes I've done on here, and there may be another one in the future, but there's so much more possibility for things I could do with SCPs, and I've gotten tons of suggestions for things too. A bunch of people have asked me to do either SCPs as Pokemon, or Pokemon as SCPs. Personally, I really like taking not creepy things and making them a lot creepier and weirder looking, so I decided to go with Pokemon as SCPs. Definitely open to switching that around at some point in the future.
I mean, we know he's at least going to use Abra, so what other Pokemon will he be using?
Hit like if you want, subscribe if you feel like, but either
Meh.
way, enjoy the show.
I feel meh about it.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Professor Oakland, and there are a number of SCPs we'll be discussing today, all with their own unique, anomalous, and frankly frightening abilities. Lots to get through, so let's get started. First up is item number SCP.
To be honest, his intro with SCP related stuff might need a little tweaking, but so far so good.
P063. Object class, Euclid, though debates continue whether to change its classification to safe. Special containment procedures. The creature is to be contained within a 10-foot cubed cell with standard surveillance. Any personnel who enter the cell are required to move very slowly. Prior to entry, they must also have gone through psychological evaluation to guarantee that they can keep their thoughts calm and non-threatening or fearful while in the cell with P063.
I guess he mixed Abra and Kadabra.
SCP-P063 is a humanoid creature of 4 feet at standing height, though it is very rarely seen to be in a standing position.
Alakazam.
P063 is almost constantly asleep in a slouched sitting position, and when left to its own devices is fairly harmless to those around it. The first reported sighting of the creature was in an undisclosed forest in Japan, by hikers who spotted what they believed to be an unconscious hiker in the distance. They approached to try and help, but when they were near, they realized it was not human. They described themselves as becoming very fearful of the creature and considered defending themselves should it awaken and attack. Immediately after they had these thoughts, the creature's eyes began to glow.
I mean, honestly, let sleeping dogs lie, you know?
Many reports that heavily resembled that encounter were later made in various parts of the world, and eventually SCP agents investigating put the reports together to discover that this was all the same creature. P063 is a telepathic and telekinetic creature who will teleport to safety anytime it senses threatening thoughts or intentions from any beings or creatures within a 30-foot range of its body. It has
it can be funny,
hostile,
you know?
save for the third occasion when SCP field agents tried to apprehend it. They kept calm enough to get close, but when they attempted to nudge the creature into a cage, it awakened, levitated off the ground, emitted red symbols over its head and chest, made multiple illusory clones of itself, and proceeded to assault the 4 field operatives in various ways. 2 were left dead, 1 in a coma and seems to be in a perpetual nightmare, and 4th, who recounted the story, had been struck by a purple psionic beam that threw him backwards and left him in a dramatically confused state for a little over 3 hours. The creature has since been properly apprehended and put into containment. It is believed that P063 could easily escape if it were to feel threatened in its containment, hence precautions being taken to ensure it feels safe. Since it has been in containment, there have been no incidences, and it has been suggested that the creature's classification be changed to safe.
Bad
though
idea.
Some still believe it could pose a significant threat and is too unpredictable to have its classification altered.
True.
Time will tell, but for now, the creature seems to be content to sleep in its containment.
Also, that is an amazing artwork, actually. Honestly. That's what I actually would imagine a Pokemon in the SCP universe to look like, you know?
Some have argued is immoral for us to keep in containment, though most still consider it to be too anomalous of a creature to be allowed out in the wild. The pros of it being released do not outweigh the panic it could ensue in general populations to know that a creature like this is able to exist. Item number SCP-P359. Object Class, Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. P359 is to be kept in a containment with reinforced titanium walls. Its cell is only to be entered once the creature has been dosed with heavy sleeping powder to keep it from attacking personnel. Description. P359
it's gonna look
is a
nice.
cat-like creature with a stature similar to that of a mountain lion. It has white fur and dark blue claws, face, and a blade on its tail, as well as a blue curved bone-like protrusion from its head, which seems to be its primary form of attack and the source of its other anomalous abilities. P359 has a precognitive disaster sense and is able to predict when a natural disaster is going to occur. It was discovered in Indonesia following many reports of a creature that seemed to be threatening locals. It would appear before people with its eyes lit up and viciously roar at them, though it had never reportedly attacked anyone. When further investigated, it was discovered that following each sighting, the very region it had been spotted in would soon after be subject to a natural disaster. It was initially thought that the creature was somehow spawning these disasters, but upon further research, it seems that P359 is unable to cause meteorological phenomena, and that it was simply appearing before people as a warning of the pending disaster. It seems the creature may actually be trying to protect people. Despite a fairly threatening
well, it's doing a better job than the SCP
hostile,
Foundation then.
But has attacked Foundation personnel on multiple occasions. As is to be expected, it does not like being kept in containment.
Yeah, who
When it
would
attacks,
enjoy
the
that?
from its head will often glow, and it can strike foes with incredible force, or even fire
Masochists
an
can
anomalous concussive energy bolt.
lock themselves up,
Researchers are still
so
trying
yeah.
to discover if there are ways to harness the creature's disaster sense.
Thought even they
but
would
as of
really
yet,
enjoy it.
efforts have been fruitless.
Yeah, the artwork again looks pretty nice. Although the feline face, though.
The next item does not appear as threatening as our previous cases, but is likely the most brutal and menacing of the
Fun fact here, Frostlass is actually one of my favorite ghost is actually one, yeah, if I remember correctly, she's a ghost type, if I remember correctly again. Well, in any way, she's my, or they are my favorite, ice type Pokemon, you know?
creatures discussed
Or
today.
one of my favorite
Item
Pokemon,
number
at least.
SCP-P478. Object class,
Regardless of
Euclid.
type.
Special containment procedures.
So I'm really
P478
curious
is
to
be
see
kept
how
in a
this looks
10-foot
like.
by 10-foot containment cell that must consistently be kept at temperatures of no higher than 5 degrees Celsius. Only female personnel are permitted to enter P478's containment, and only when absolutely necessary. Description. P478 appears as a semi-humanoid female in a white garment that looks similar to a Japanese kimono. Her arms protrude from her head instead of her shoulders, and while her legs appear to be hidden by her dress, she actually has no lower limbs and moves by hovering over the ground. P478 was discovered in Nunavut, Canada, where the males of a since-redacted village had been going missing slowly over the course of a few years. The wife of one of the victims was interviewed by Foundation field agents, and she stated that her husband had vanished on the night of a terrible storm after there had been a knock at their door. She'd let her husband answer, but moments later she entered the room to see that the door was wide open and her husband was gone. Interestingly, all of the men that had disappeared over the years were fairly consistently referred to as the more handsome or conventionally attractive of males in the village. After months of searching
Well,
in
guess
nearby
I'm
mountains,
safe.
a cave was finally discovered by field agents to find a disturbing scene. The den of SCP-P478 was filled with the frozen solid bodies of men from the village decorating the cave. When found, P478 was seen admiring her statues while absorbing blue glowing light from within them. Agents described it as if she were joyously sucking the souls right out of them. When agents tried to
that's
apprehend
something
her,
a ghost type
P478
would do.
attacked by breathing beams of ice that froze solid 2 of the agents before the others were able to apprehend the subject. She currently sits in a containment cell, appearing fairly content, though she has attempted escapes on multiple occasions, and those on her guard have been instructed to keep vigilant and stay warm.
Ooh, spooky! But not really, though.
Our final subject is not as mysterious in its actions as our previous case, but this is a species that is blatantly the most physically powerful of the ones we'll discuss today, and has proven very difficult to contain due to its abilities. Item number, SCP-P445. Object class, Keter. Special containment procedures. P445-A, the only member of its species in our containment currently, is to be kept in a 35 by 16 foot containment cell with a sliding divider that can come down to temporarily split the room in half so personnel can enter to deliver sustenance. If the creature shows any signs of attacking the barriers or walls, personnel are to immediately vacate the room and reseal it to prevent breakout. If need be, guards watching from outside may seal the doors with agents inside if they deem it necessary to do so to prevent a breach. Description: P445-A is a 10-foot tall draconic creature with a head akin to that of a hammerhead shark. While it appears aquatic in nature, in truth, the creature's natural environment is high in mountain caves and, oddly enough, in the air. While its wings do not look nearly large enough to sustain flight, the creature is able to fly at nearly 800 miles per hour, faster than the speed of sound. It can go from 0 to 100 miles per hour in a fraction of a second, hence it being very difficult to contain. Along with its incredible speed, it is a viciously strong predator that will seemingly devour any living creature or being it comes across. Because of their incredible flight speeds, this species has been reported on multiple continents, devouring local birds, hikers, and on a few occasions, hang gliders. They have also been linked to multiple plane crashes, though these cases have not been definitively proven as caused by a member of the P445 species. It is unknown how many of P445 species are out in the wild, but our researchers' best guess is no more than 40. It's still a far higher number than we'd like, but with P445-A in containment, we are doing all we can to study the creature and discover how best to terminate other members of the species in the wild to keep their numbers low. One weakness we're currently looking into that may be exploitable is the fact that they are significantly slower at temperatures of below 0. They are fairly good at regulating their body temperatures, but this is something that may be useful for us in the future. Now, those have been our 4 cases for today. Thank you for listening, everyone. If you have any inquiries, you can bring them to me now, but if not, have a good night.
Still looks good though, but Garchomp not exactly my favorite.
SCPs, nope. There we have Pokemon as SCPs. Is this something people want another round of? Because I am definitely completely open to that. I really enjoyed this. I love how Abra and Garchomp turned out. I mean, I like how the whole episode turned out in general, but those two to me
I did
really
too.
look like they could actually kind of be SCPs. And I mean, there's lots of other stuff people have been asking me to do with SCPs, like turning them into dinosaurs with of course, Champagne McGregor narrating. Turning them into dragons could be lots of fun. Lots of people have asked for that. But is there other stuff you'd want to see turned into SCPs? Let me know in the comments.
YouTubers.
And of course, if you're new to the channel and you really like SCP stuff, make sure to check.
Oh yeah, I actually watched that video where he makes SCPs into superheroes. Yeah. With the jokes that I make with SCP-999, the fact that he made the superhero woman would, you know. Anyway. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really did, because honestly, so far of the 4 he drew, my favorite would quite literally be the combination of Abra and Kadabra. At least I imagine that's why we saw him using the image of Abra and Kadabra as a reference to drawing it. Anyway. With that said, again, Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video of whatever I'll be making. So yeah.